So you know that one girl who popped up in Mr. Beast's Squid Game video and everyone thought, oh hey, she seems normal?
Why did you pick this one?
Just like the middle.
Basically, you don't think it's Umbrella. Did you even watch Squid Game?
Well, maybe not. Because honestly, a lot of people don't even know that she was featured in Mr. Beast's video in the first place. Yeah, that was Camila Araujo. And if you've been anywhere near TikTok, Reddit, or the war zone that is influencer drama channels, you've definitely heard her name tossed around. At first, she had people fooled into thinking she was one of the good ones. She even scored brownie points online for calling out Ash Trevino during that now infamous podcast episode where Ash showed up with her daughters and Camila started crying. And for a moment, everyone thought, wow, finally, an influencer with a moral compass.
They should not know about, they don't need to know about how you're new, they don't need to know anything. And the fact that this is brought up to them is not okay. Like, that is not okay. Your kids should not know about anything.
Okay, as a brother, that's what he should do. Like, if he wanted to be a doctor, I'd support him in paying for his med school. So in order to have me cough up money, he needs to help me make money.
But here's the thing. Dig just a little deeper, and Camila's story isn't exactly heroic. In fact, her entire career is built on the same cocktail of clout chasing, controversy, and questionable choices that fuel the rest of the OnlyFans influencer circus. From using her younger brother as a marketing prop.
People just say shit and that pisses me off. And like, I just wish that stopped because whatever you doing here affects me at North Carolina.
To surrounding herself with controversial figures like Jack Doherty, to being a central face of the chaotic disaster that was the Bop House, Camila isn't the savior people thought she was. And today we're going to unravel her entire timeline, how she went from being Mr. Beast's Player 067 to one of the most polarizing creators on the internet, what really happened inside the Bop House, and why the internet is so divided about whether she's a victim of the machine or just another opportunist playing the same game. But before we get into the scandals, the lawsuits, and the endless drama, let's rewind. Because to understand where Camila ended up, we need to see where she started. Surprisingly, there's not a lot of information about her personal life online. However, a little bit of doom scrolling on Reddit will give you a good enough idea of who she is. From what we have found out, Camila Araujo was born on May 1st, 2002 in Brazil before moving to the United States. She grew up in North Carolina, specifically Raleigh, where she finished high school and started dipping her toes into the world of content creation. Now, in those early years, Camila wasn't exactly groundbreaking. Her socials were a mix of lifestyle photos, fashion shoots, and the usual trying to look like an influencer but you're actually an OF creator type of content. But then came the big break. A lot of people don't actually know this about her, but she went viral for a YouTube video posted almost 3 years ago. In November 2021, Mr. Beast dropped his Squid Game in real life video, the one with a massive $456,000 prize pool that broke YouTube records. Camila appeared as Player 067, and while she didn't win, she got what every small creator dreams of: exposure. Millions of people saw her face, and suddenly her follower count wasn't so small anymore.
Excuse me, what? I was 10 years old when I just found out that Player 067 from Mr. Beast's Squid Games on YouTube, her right there in that game, 3 years ago when everybody was obsessing over her and was trying to find what her Instagram is and what her social media is because of how pretty she is.
So yeah, out of nowhere, people suddenly wanted to know who she was, even though at that point she was just a college student. On the Cancelled podcast, she spilled a bit about her appearance in Mr. Beast's massive Squid Game video and how she even landed there in the first place. According to her, it wasn't some grand master plan, it was through connections. She claimed she got to know a lot of crew members from the Mr. Beast channel after meeting one of the videographers. That connection opened the door. And before long, she found herself picking up work as a personal assistant for Mr. Beast himself.
At like a bar there, and I met a videographer that worked for him, so I started working for him, and then I ended up getting mixed into like personal assistant jobs for him, and he would, anyways. So
interesting. What was that
so
like?
One day, great. I saw him recently. He knew bro, I haven't seen him since like 2021. He saw me, he knew exactly who I was. Like, he remembered. Like, you know
and
what I'm saying?
people
Like,
don't do that.
No.
She also mentioned on the podcast that the only reason she even ended up in this Squid Game video was because of a last-minute situation. Apparently, there was a big mix-up on the filming day, and a lot of the contestants who were supposed to show up simply didn't. The crew was scrambling to fill spots, and that's when one of the team members reached out to her, asking if she'd be interested in being part of it. They even told her to bring as many friends as she could to help fill the numbers. So she agreed and joined the shoot. But once the video was released, her life completely shifted. Practically overnight, she gained thousands of followers, and suddenly she went from being just another college student to someone with a rapidly growing online presence.
Massive malfunction, and there were 456 people involved, so half of the people didn't show up the next day. So they were scrambling, calling contestants in to be able to fill the spots and start shooting the next day. And then one of the guy that I was working for was like, yo, do you want to be in a video? Like, bring a couple friends. I was like, bet, awesome. We showed up the next day, we filmed. When the video came out, literally, I'm not joking, 24 hours after the video came out, I started off with 7,000 followers, regular college student. I woke up the next morning to 145,000 followers in one day.
Besides this, we also came across this video that Camila posted on her social media, basically saying that because she couldn't build a career in anything else, and she had to do something with her fame, she started an OnlyFans.
I lost $456,000 in Mr. Beast's Squid Game video, and I've been trying to make the money back ever since. I lost the challenge just because I didn't throw this marble far enough. But I don't need to win a Mr. Beast challenge and make $500,000, and I'm gonna prove it right now. I started off by trying to get a real job, but they said that being part of the Squid Game video didn't count as past job experience. But that gave me the perfect idea. I could just be in the actual Squid Game show because season 2 is about to be filmed. So I emailed Netflix and told them that I would be the perfect fit, and I already have the outfit and everything. They emailed me back the same day, and I was so sure I got the job. But they told me that I couldn't be in the show if I didn't speak Korean. And according to Google, it takes 2 years to learn the new language. I was running out of ideas. I'm just gonna start OnlyFans.
This was the first time the internet collectively said, wait, who's that? And Camila, being no dummy, capitalized on it. She used that moment as her launch pad, and for a while it worked. She leaned into modeling, lifestyle influencing, and slowly started carving out her lane as an adult content creator. But here's the thing with internet fame. Once you get a taste of the spotlight, the pressure to keep it going never stops. And instead of playing it safe, Camila went straight for the controversial route. By late 2024, she joined the Bop House, a so-called content house that marketed itself as edgy, glamorous, and entrepreneurial, but quickly revealed itself to be a circus of egos, drama, and terrible decision-making. Camila wasn't just a background member either. She became one of its main faces, running the podcast, inviting high-profile and extremely controversial guests, and putting herself right at the center of every headline.
And like, you haven't had any other accomplishments besides that. Like, what else?
Look what Miss Girl is posting on her close friends. For free? Photo free? For free?
I genuinely, I'm gonna be very honest with you, I didn't think it was for real. The second she was like, I got the letter, I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool, like, I'll just shut up, because like, I don't care, like, I don't need this. I don't need.
But we'll get to all of that. Because before we talk about Alabama Barker getting dragged into the mess, before Ash Trevino's daughters got walking through the Bop House doors, and before Camila's own brother became a prop in her career, we need to understand how she positioned herself as the good one in the first place. And spoiler, it didn't last long. So once the Mr. Beast's Squid Game video blew up, things didn't just change a little for her, they flipped upside down. Overnight, she went from being a regular college student to someone recognized everywhere online. For the first time, she had to deal with thousands of strangers dissecting her life, her looks, and her personality, all while she was still figuring herself out. On the podcast, she admitted that at first it felt surreal. The flood of followers made her think, okay, maybe this is my big break. But with all that attention also came a new pressure. People started projecting expectations onto her. Some saw her as the next big creator. Others accused her of clout chasing, and plenty of trolls just picked apart everything she did. She described it as exciting and exhausting at the same time. Suddenly she had opportunities knocking. Brand collabs, networking offers, even chances to appear in other big YouTube productions. When it comes to social media, she's no small player either. On TikTok, she's sitting at around 9.3 million followers, with her videos regularly pulling in hundreds of thousands of views. Over on Instagram, she's built up a following of nearly 5.4 million followers, where she shares a mix of personal lifestyle posts, behind-the-scenes looks, and collabs with other creators. What's interesting is that her growth didn't just come from one viral moment. She's managed to keep people hooked with her personality, skits, and the way she interacts with fans. However, once you look beyond the brand collaborations and the big follower accounts, you begin to see just how problematic she really is, and how problematic the industry itself can be in general. Now, don't get us wrong, whether people like it or not, the adult industry exists, and for many it's a livelihood, a way to put food on the table. But at the same time, it would be naive to deny that some creators, especially figures like the Bop House members or people such as Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, are a huge reason why the industry continues to be painted in such a negative light. They're not just participants in the industry, they actively fuel the controversies that make outsiders view the entire space with distrust and disdain, which brings us to the first controversy that Camila has been a part of, and it all basically started with the Bop House. If you're one of the lucky, innocent ones who hasn't already heard of it, the Bop House is a content creator collective based in Miami, Florida, that's been making waves since its creation in December 2024. It was founded by OnlyFans influencers Sophie Rain and Aisha Sophie, and the whole idea was to create a collaborative space where female creators could live together, film together, and cross-promote each other's content on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Now let's talk about the name. Because if you thought Bop House sounded fun and harmless, you are very, very wrong. The term bop is not just some quirky Gen Z slang. In fact, the house's name actually comes from the phrase, blown out see. Yeah, we're going to be censoring half of today's video. And here's the thing. According to Wikipedia, bop is defined in a much tamer way, a derogatory term usually for females, suggesting excessive flirtatiousness or promiscuity. But trust us when we say Wikipedia is putting it very politely. In reality, the term has been used in all kinds of offensive ways. Some people say it refers to a woman who would give oral to basically anyone. Others use it as a label for women who dress a certain way or carry themselves in ways society deems too much. Whatever definition you land on, one thing's for sure, none of them are flattering. And if you need proof, here's a TikTok breaking it down.
And I Googled it and I ended up with Bureau of Proclamation and different ideas of a bebop, boop, boop, meaning that a bop was a really good song because during the pandemic, a bop was really popular. Ooh, that's a bop, right? And then this person, apparently that video's been blowing up, and then this person comes back and replies to the video and says, Urban Dictionary definition, a name to call a female who gives head to anyone, called a bop because when they give head, they bop their heads. Wow. That's really changed since Gen Y and millennials have.
As you can see, the meanings vary, but it's safe to say they're all equally degrading. So to put it bluntly, the Bop House is literally branding itself as the House of Bops, basically a group of very young-looking women, openly self-identifying with a term that is at its core an insult. And guess what? Camila has pretty much been called the leader of the house, even though she isn't the one who founded it. We think people started assuming she was the leader of the Bop House mainly because of how active she was. She became the face of almost everything they did, constantly showing up in the content and often making the most money out of the group. On top of that, she carried herself with a bossy, leader-like attitude in the videos, which only reinforced the perception that she was running the show. However, ironically, being the most prominent face of the house didn't really work in her favor, especially once all the messy controversies surrounding this so-called content collective started to come to light. For instance, the whole thing with Piper Raquel. For those of you who know even a little bit about the Bop House, you must be aware that the Bop House members have been collaborating with an underage TikTok creator by the name of Piper Raquel. Now keep in mind that Piper was born in August 2007. This at the time made her a 17-year-old who was dancing to inappropriate songs with a bunch of OF creators. And she wasn't only dancing with all these adult content creators. For some reason, the Bop House also decided it'd be a great idea to invite an underage creator into the mix. Yeah, let that sink in. In one of their TikTok videos, the Bop House proudly announced that they were about to welcome Piper into their house. Piper, who was clearly underage at the time, was being paraded around in the same environment as adult creators making highly questionable content. Now, this wasn't just a bad decision, it was a ticking time bomb. The optics of it were disastrous. Imagine a content collective already being criticized for shady dealings and adult-themed material, now openly trying to mix minors into the same brand. The whole thing blurred the lines that should have never been crossed, and Piper's involvement made the Bop House look even more predatory. Now, here's where things get really performative. Camila tried to distance herself from the whole fiasco. She went on record saying she thought it was wrong, even openly calling out Piper and telling her to leave the Bop House.
Hey, so what the hell is this? When this whole thing happened the first time around, I didn't even say anything, but this is literally ridiculous. Piper, take your ass home. Why are you at the Bop House? The original Bop House. You know what you're doing. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're 17, my love. I don't care if you're turning 18 in August. I don't care if you're turning 18 next week. It's the principle. Leave. Stop. It's weird. It's really weird. Maybe try a trampoline park, ice skating. I used to love like rollerblading when I was younger, playing with dolls. Literally anything else but doing what you're doing. Unless you're playing How to Catch a Predator, please go the home. It's weird. It's so weird.
But here's the thing, being right in the middle of it all, we can't really say she did anything concrete to stop it. On the surface, it looked more like damage control than actual accountability. The main reason why people tend to think Camila is somehow better than the others in that space is because of how she presents herself. She likes to take on this image of being the mature one, the voice of reason, the girl who knows better. But when you actually step back and look at the bigger picture, the pattern becomes pretty clear. She didn't really care about an underage girl being or marketed through an adult content house. At the end of the day, these women weren't clueless. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew the kind of audience that watches them. And let's be real, a lot of those men are creepy. So when an underage girl is suddenly thrown into the mix, dancing around them wearing tight clothes, teasing the idea that she might join in, what kind of thoughts do you think that plants in their audience's minds? It's disturbing, and they had to have known that. Now, like we said, Camila did talk about it. She made comments about how wrong it was, told Piper to leave the Bop House, and tried to distance herself publicly. But when you actually watch what went on, she was no better than the rest of them. While she was speaking out, there were actual videos of her still collaborating with that same underage girl. So no matter how much she tries to brand herself as different, her actions put her right in line with the rest. And when people finally started calling Camila out for her hypocrisy, she didn't exactly take it gracefully. Instead of owning up to the fact that she played a role in normalizing what went down at the Bop House, she snapped back with the classic, "I'm not anyone's mother" defense. Basically, her stance was that she shouldn't be held responsible for what happened because the underage girl was going to do what she wanted anyway. She even said in one of her videos that, "We've all been 17, and at 17 you don't really listen." Which is kind of wild because that argument completely misses the point. Nobody expected her to be a mom. People just wanted her and the other women in the house not to put a minor in compromising situations in front of an audience full of, let's be real, creepy guys.
Last video, I'm going to be talking about this situation, so listen up. I want to start off by saying that the Bop House is a content house, okay? Like a group of girls cross-promote to boost each other's career, okay? In the midst of all of this, I somehow got named the leader, but let me make it 100% clear here. I do not lead or monitor these grown-ass women, okay? Like, they are grown as they can make their own decisions in their personal life. I've been getting a lot of comments saying, oh, you got to keep that same energy with Aisha and Sophie. They're the ones hanging out with her. Yes, and this is me keeping that same energy. I called them, I addressed the situation, but I am not their mother. I did tell them because the last time this happened, they came to me crying and they were super upset about all the hate they were getting. But here they are again trying to play Captain Save-A-Ho. And playing Captain Save-A-Ho is a little ironic coming from us, don't you think? At the end of the day, she is still 17. I didn't listen at 17. You didn't listen at 17. Like, this little girl is still going to go back with this man and leave this man, whatever she wants to do. And Piper, babe, this is direct. I'm talking directly to you. Go worry about putting some damn bows in your hair, okay? So that's it. I'm over it. Peace out. Love you guys.
So instead of accountability, what viewers got was Camila getting visibly angry and acting like she was being hated on and trolled for no reason, when the criticism was actually about something very real. And this is not it. We also came across a podcast clip of Camila talking about Piper on her podcast. And honestly speaking, it's horrible.
Piper, she's so cute. Isn't she like 17? Yeah. So, I mean, I think she's so cute. You can't come here if you're under the age of 18. Like, that's, it's not gonna work.
Yes, we all see you and we love you and we appreciate it and you're so funny and I want to meet you.
Yeah, just, now's not the right time, and, maybe trying something more appropriate for your age, a Disney Channel audition. I don't know.
From the way she brushed Piper's age under the rug, it's clear she doesn't really care about Piper's well-being. Instead of acknowledging the very real dangers of a minor being in an adult-centered content house, she downplayed it by saying Piper is cute and talking as if the real tragedy here is that Piper can't be part of the Bop House. That framing makes it sound like Piper is missing out on some golden opportunity rather than being shielded from a potentially harmful environment. The way Camila speaks, you get the sense that if it were entirely up to her, she would have welcomed Piper right into the house without a second thought about her age or the consequences. However, at the same time, she positions herself as this very woke person, which, to be honest, we don't think is real. However, even if we decide to look past this particular incident and, for the sake of argument, believe her when she says that Piper shouldn't be getting involved with the Bop House girls, and that she was also advising the Bop House girls not to bring her in, there's still a problem. Let's assume for a moment that she genuinely cared about this issue and wasn't just saying it to keep herself in the clear. Even then, there are still multiple other instances that clearly show she doesn't actually care as much as she claims to. One of the clearest examples of this is the whole situation with Ash Trevino. For context, Ashley is another degenerate on the internet, known for just being a horrible mother and dating men far, far younger than her.
Did you do stuff with Santos to where he would feel it's appropriate to lick your toy because perhaps he's been down there before?
So, yes, we have done stuff.
Okay.
Twice. 2 separate occasions.
With a 19-year-old boy.
So yeah, Camila invited this woman for a podcast episode and basically called her out for all the things she's been doing.
That's disgusting.
It is. I regret it.
I'm disgusted
in myself.
I'm disappointed in you.
That is freaking gross.
I agree. We can agree on that.
Literally.
Not only this, but Camila also went on to talk about Ashley Trevino's parenting, calling her out as a neglectful mother and, frankly, a horrible person overall. According to Camila, Ashley doesn't give her daughters the proper love, care, or attention they need, and instead gets wrapped up in her own chaos. Camila made it clear that kids shouldn't even be exposed to this kind of toxic behavior, let alone have to grow up in it.
You have a very messy personality and a very messy personal life, and I really hate that your kids have been brought into it because they shouldn't know about any of this.
Literally. And
they should not know about, they don't need to know about how you're new, they don't need to know anything, and the fact that this is brought up to them is not okay. Like, that is not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids should not know about anything. About CPS, like when some kids, CPS shows up, they don't even know CPS shows up. Like, I hope you do see that. I really hope you see
and
that.
And that's the thing, like, if you ask the girls, they will tell you that they're tired of it.
As they should be, though, because that's ridiculous. Like, I hope that your kids are enough of a reason for maybe to dial back a bit or just not go live and understand that, bro, like, I hope this doesn't affect them later, you know? I mean, same with me, though. I don't have kids now, but when I do have kids, you don't think they're going to look at me and be like, Mom, what are you doing on OnlyFans? But that's something that I consciously know. I'm still debating on having kids.
And honestly speaking, she does deserve a pat on the back for calling Ash out. But here's the thing, she's no saint either. Women, she uses her own teenage brother for marketing.
Well, it's only going up from here, so I'm only going to become more famous. Deal with it. Don't be so sensitive, like a little bit. Pinky.
Honestly, her brother's situation is the most disgusting thing about her, and we're going to talk about it in detail later in the video. But here's where things get really messy. While Camila was busy calling out Ashley Trevino for being a neglectful mother and saying that her kids shouldn't even be exposed to all this drama, she turned around and did the exact opposite. People pointed out how hypocritical it was that on one hand, she's preaching about how underage girls like Piper shouldn't be involved in adult situations, yet she invited Ashley's own daughters onto her podcast and started asking them some seriously uncomfortable questions. And it didn't stop there. Camila even started making TikToks with Ashley and her daughters. Like, wasn't she just saying that kids shouldn't be dragged into content with adults, especially when it revolves around and OF, it's this kind of contradiction that makes a lot of people stop and question whether Camila was really standing up for the kids or just using them for more clicks and views. A lot of people on Reddit and TikTok were actually furious about this. One user posted on Reddit saying, "It's annoying ASF how everyone praises her because she called out Ash Trevino, when in reality, she just exploited her kids' trauma for views and clout." While another commenter replied saying, "No, literally, I could go on about Ash Trevino herself because just no. But Camila putting her kids through all that, and even asking some of the things that she did, which is going to publicly humiliate them all, is sick to me. Ash is wrong, but Camila is no better and in no way helping them by what she did. I just feel so bad for those girls. I simply don't get the hype. She's giving high school mean girl, and it's really time for her to grow up. It's giving me the ick." And honestly, we agree. There was absolutely no need for Camila to invite 16-year-old girls onto a podcast just to talk about their dad being in jail or their mom's with a 19-year-old. That's not only inappropriate, it's cruel. These kids have an entire life outside of petty online drama. But now their identities are being tied to the scandals their mother keeps throwing onto the internet. But let's be real here. Camila isn't any better. She's using all of this for clout and views, even dragging Ash's daughters into the spotlight. For someone who claims to care about protecting kids, it's extremely inconsiderate and hypocritical to put these girls front and center in messy internet feuds. However, the podcast she uploaded to her YouTube has since been deleted, so we're guessing she either had a brief moral awakening, or maybe she just realized she wasn't coming across as the hero she so desperately wanted to be. That being said, we'd now like to talk about the beef between Camila and Ash Trevino following this podcast. So what happened was that Ash tried to extend her stay in the hotel, which Camila paid for, and she didn't really ask Camila before doing that. Camila made a video about her, exposing Ash for trying to stay in the hotel for longer than she needed, all on her dime.
You never asked me to extend your stay. Not to mention, you never asked me. You just told me to pay you. You just heard it was $1,039. I remember it was $1,039. You can just tell me. I was like, bro, I'm not gonna argue with you, bro. I'm not gonna argue over $1,000. Whatever. Like, I just was thinking, like, I have other things to worry about. Like, let me just pay her and just get this out of my face. Like, I don't care. But yeah, I'm not gonna let her lie on my name. Like, that's absolutely crazy. Yeah, you regret doing the podcast because look how it turned out for you. But I bet you if everybody started loving you, I gave you an opportunity. And I didn't even think I was not that disrespectful. It could have been a lot worse. And I'm not a horrible human being. I'm not going to sit there and attack you because that's not fair.
We think all of this started when Ash went on live after the podcast was uploaded, and she said that she regretted going on the podcast because Camila apparently titled the podcast Worst Mom on TikTok.
And no, I didn't make no money off of the podcast, okay? So that answers y'all's question, okay? I didn't make no money from the podcast. And also, she hasn't ordered the girls' stuff yet, so that's 2 questions answered for y'all. Do I think she was fair to me? In reality, no. But like I said, it is what it is, you know? Camila is a young girl, too. She's literally younger than Max, I believe. So I think she's like 22. So again, it wasn't somebody older that was doing the interview. So she is younger, and she doesn't have kids, so she doesn't know how it is. She even said in the podcast she don't remember what it is to be 16. And those were her words. I don't know if she put it in there, but she said that to me in the room. She said, I don't even remember what it is to be 16. And then we talked, like, when the camera went blank, we did talk, and she's like, are you okay? Are you okay? I said, I'm good. I said, I'm just saying, like, you're the only one that has ever done this. But again, they do stuff for the views. You got to remember that. She's an influencer. She does stuff for the views because she gets paid off of the views, so.
Not only that, but Ashley also accused Camila of not buying her daughters their beds as she had promised during the podcast. She even went as far as making another video complaining about it.
But I already found a house, so yeah. That's happening really soon. Found a 4-bedroom. I'm excited. She literally promised, right? But yeah, no, my kids haven't gotten nothing yet, so.
In our opinion, that was just not right, especially since Ashley herself claimed she makes plenty of money just from a single live stream. So watching her cry over Camila not buying her kids' beds felt weird, hypocritical, and honestly, just a whole lot of mess for no real reason. However, if you think Camila is going to stay quiet after all this, you are obviously wrong because she made a pretty good response video. In this video, Camila basically came with receipts, showing that it was actually Ash herself who refused the bed for her kids because of everything she had previously said about Camila. So at the end of the day, Ash ended up ruining it for her own children. And honestly, we kind of have to side with Camila on this one. Like we've said before, she might not be the absolute worst person out there. There are always people who are worse, but we're also not about to sit here and pretend she's any better either.
This is the last video I'll be making about this goofy-ass woman, so let's get started.
She did ask me, did your kids pick out the bed set? I said, I don't want you to buy it.
This is me sending Ash Trevino a text message. I was like, hey, don't forget to send me what the kids want for their beds. And she said, after what I said, I don't know if it's okay. So because after what you went online and you ruined it for your kids, I can't buy them a bed because you won't do it? You're sick. Something's wrong with you. She then goes on to talk about some sort of credit card fraud. And when she went to send me the video, sends me a screenshot of the video as if I can click on it and look at it, first of all. And second of all, what does credit card fraud have to do with me getting your kids' beds? Another thing she said was that I got paid $60,000 off of the podcast.
I paid $60,000? Somebody actually told me that.
Okay, first of all, who told you that? Because that's crazy. I made way more. But that's none of your business. Yes, I did get paid. That's why you were on there. I paid for everything that you needed, like a hotel, you know, your flight, even sent you first class and the Ritz-Carlton, and you didn't ask for more payment. That is not my fault. That has nothing to do with me. What happened to your manager? Before you came on the podcast, you said that you were gonna have me sign something. You're just a mess. You are a literal mess. So yeah, no, I didn't pay you. I would have never paid you, and yes, I did make money off of it.
Like she said, Camila profited heavily from it, openly admitting she made way more than Ash assumed. But on the other hand, she also showed her daughter's faces in the same podcast, then later turned around and claimed to care about them. From our perspective, that just doesn't line up. If she truly cared about her kids' well-being, she wouldn't have used them as content in the first place, especially while monetizing it so heavily. But then again, this isn't even the worst thing she's done. What really compelled us to make this video is the entire situation with her brother. Because honestly, what she's doing with him is so seriously damaging, so deeply wrong, that it feels important to bring attention to it and actually talk about just how messed up it really is. There are actually multiple videos of her talking to her brother Christian, who by the way was just a teenager at the time, about how he feels about her doing OnlyFans. And in our opinion, it was just disgusting on a whole other level. And when her brother talks about how he's being bullied at school for what she does for a living, this is what she has to say to her little brother.
Lay low and no one's gonna say shit to you. Just lay low, bro. Do you think I'm a good sister?
No.
Bro, why?
You're my sister. You're mean to me.
Not all the time. Bro, we live in
You're
different
saying this shit
states.
because you're on a podcast.
No, we live in different states. That's how I mean to you. I mean to you when you're failing your classes, yeah.
I'm not failing.
A D.
It's not failing.
That's a D, it's failing.
F is failing.
A D is failing.
For you it is, because you're an A+ child.
Right, I am.
Shut the hell up. You're literally doing your career isn't only. You can't be talking. You're selling pictures of whatever. You can't be saying.
I mean, it's one thing to bring her little brother on camera and fight with him about random stuff for content, but to actually sit there and talk to him about her OnlyFans while he's just a teenager is on another level of messed up. Instead of protecting him or respecting his feelings, she acts like some mean girl who doesn't care about what he's going through. You can literally see how uncomfortable and awkward he feels, and yet she keeps pushing it, almost like his boundaries don't even matter. It's not just bad, it's damaging. It honestly says a lot about the kind of person she is. Another thing we noticed while looking deeper into all of this is that she's clearly been doing this for a long time. And most of the time it doesn't even come across as genuine. It feels really performative, almost like she's telling her little brother what to say and how to act in order to get the biggest reactions possible on camera. That basically means she's using a minor, her own brother, as a prop to fuel her content and make it stand out. It's all just rage bait, manufactured drama designed to get clicks and attention. But the disturbing part is that she's dragging a kid into it for her own benefit. We even came across an old video that really shows just how far Camila is willing to push things for content. In it, she straight up asks her little brother what it feels like to have a sister who does OF. And his response? He says that his friends keep asking him if it's pink. Just think about that for a second. This is a teenager asking her sister questions like these on camera for views.
So how does it feel to have a sister that has an OF?
My friends always ask me if it's pink, but I don't really know what they mean by that.
Nani?
Do you know?
Jesus Christ. Click the link in my bio. Just like.
Now, in this particular clip, her brother doesn't even look like he's 16. He seems barely 14. And yet she's making him ask her questions like this. And let's be honest here, we really don't think this was genuine. We don't think most of the clips of her with her brother are either. But even if they were, that doesn't make this situation any less uncomfortable or weird. Because here's the thing, even if this boy isn't actually getting bullied by people outside the internet, the fact that she's encouraging him to ask her such bizarre and deeply inappropriate questions is just wrong. It's exploitative. It puts him in a position that no sibling, let alone someone that young, should be in. It's not funny, it's not edgy, it's just uncomfortable to watch. And if we as the audience feel this way, imagine how much worse it must feel for him. Now, just to give you some context on how bad this situation really is and how much he actually uses her brother for branding, we're going to show you some of the most disturbing clips we found online. Honestly, this one is hard to even watch. In the clip, she asks her brother what the best and worst things about being her brother are, and instead of giving some lighthearted answer, he opens up about how hard it's been for him at school. He says that she's getting too famous, and because of that, people constantly bully him. In fact, he recalls how one of the girls at school actually called him Pinky, and we don't even need to spell out what that was referring to. It's beyond disgusting. But here's the worst part. Instead of feeling bad for him, instead of showing any kind of empathy for how her choices were affecting him, she turns it around and tells him that he shouldn't be insecure and sensitive. And then just to make things worse, she actually calls him the exact same words kids at school were using to bully him. That's not just careless, it's cruel.
The best and worst part about being my brother.
The worst part? You're just getting way too famous.
Period.
And I've been getting name called a lot more at school. Some random girl said, "See you later, Pinky."
Pinky.
Pinky. Pink. Pink. And then
Well, it's only going up from here, so I'm only gonna become more famous. Deal with it. Don't be so sensitive, like a little bit. Pinky.
And honestly, this is barely scratching the surface. There are countless videos that are just as disgusting and uncomfortable as this one. For some reason, Camila seems to have this bizarre obsession with constantly bringing up and making what color her private parts are. It doesn't matter what the original topic of conversation is, whenever she's talking to her brother, it somehow always circles back to this exact subject. And honestly speaking, not only is this offensive, weird, and completely immature, but it's also deeply unsettling. She acts like she's the 16-year-old in this situation, while her younger brother often comes across as the more mature one. I mean, seriously, what sane 22-year-old adult thinks it's appropriate to talk like this, especially with their own sibling? We mean, just look at this kid trying to figure out what actually is pink.
I get this question way too much, even in school, basically everywhere I go, if I ever get recognized. What do they mean if it's pink?
Dude, I told you.
Don't me with the car.
I don't know what I have to tell you, but
You're hiding something, clearly.
I'm not hiding anything.
Say that shit with a straight face.
It is my Audi R8.
No, it's not. You have a pink. Okay, there's so many things that's pink. Literally, look, there's so much that's pink that it can't just be your Audi R8.
That's like the most expensive pink thing.
Okay, hold on.
Or, I mean, it could be
Is
the
it
Jeep.
like a hot or cold game?
Sure.
Is it an object?
Yes.
Something that you can hold?
Yes.
You can hold the object, okay. Is it like an electrical device?
No.
Is it like solid?
Sometimes.
What the What? Is it wet, like liquid?
No. No.
What?
It's big. It's the car!
Honestly, at this point, nobody really cares if she does OF or corn or whatever else. That's her choice in her life. But dragging her younger brother into it and making him the subject of those types of conversations is just insane. Like, what kind of adult sister thinks it's normal to casually bring up the color of her parts with a teenager on camera? It's not just awkward, it's crossing a boundary that should never even come close to being crossed. It makes her look less like a 22-year-old content creator and more like an immature, attention-starved child who doesn't realize how disturbing her own behavior comes across. And not only this, but in one of the videos with her brother, he talks about how whatever she does in her personal life, whether indirectly or directly, ends up affecting him. and it was just heartbreaking to watch. Even if parts of it seemed staged or performative, it still felt wrong and incredibly sad.
So do you just come on here to piss me off? Like, you're supposed to be my brother.
No, I come here to...
Like, you're supposed to show me love, not be against me.
I come on here to tell you the truth.
What the are you talking about? What's the truth?
So, when you leave here to go to Miami, you're living out your life. But
Yeah,
then you
I'm
just
living my
forget
life.
you just forget whatever happens in North Carolina and what happens to me at school. Like I get like bullied, but not like bullied, like punched at, but people just say shit and that pisses me off. And like I just wish that stopped because whatever you doing here affects me at North Carolina.
So why do you still come here then?
Because
You don't
it's
have
better
to
than
be-
North Carolina.
That's what I'm saying though, but you don't have to be a
You don't
part of
have to be
this.
filming videos with me.
Bro, I'm not holding you hostage. You can leave.
Okay, I will then. Alright, give me the fuck out of here. I'm done. Give me the fuck out of here.
However, despite knowing how her brother feels, she always ends up gaslighting him and making him feel guilty for saying anything to her. She just conveniently forgets that she's the adult here. She's the one at fault for putting him through this in the first place. She tells him things like, "You're supposed to support me and love me, but you're so mean." When in reality, this kid is probably just trying to vent his emotions, even if everything he says isn't entirely genuine. Her brother also narrated multiple incidents that have happened to him at school, with people pointing out what her sister does for work and asking him if it's him in the video.
What's the craziest thing that's happened to you?
On the bus, this kid, he watches your TikTok. He's a I don't want to say addicted, but he really likes your content. And so what he does, he goes, "Oh look, it's your sister. Is that you?"
We mean, that's just sad. And yeah, there's definitely a possibility that not everything being said in these podcasts is genuine or real, but even if it is scripted, it's still sad that this is happening in the first place. That being said, we also don't believe all of these clips are fake or staged, because most of the time the kid doesn't seem like he's acting. It's more that the questions are crafted and the conversations are steered really smartly in a way that Camila knows will give her something to cut out and post on her social media for views. For example, in one video, she straight up asks her brother if she's a good sister, and he just says no, that she's actually mean to him.
Do you think I'm a good sister?
No.
Bro, why?
You're my sister. You're mean to me.
Not all the time.
And honestly speaking, we would agree with this. She really gives some serious mean girl energy. There's also a video we came across where she's telling her brother why she doesn't feel good when he says that she's not a good sister.
You might not understand how it makes me feel when you say I'm a bad sister, but like, I took you to Greece. I literally threw you a surprise party at the house. I took you on a yacht to watch the 4th of July fireworks. Like, bro, after all that, like, and more, how can you call me a piece of sister?
And yes, she isn't wrong here. She does buy him stuff, take him on yachts, sets off fireworks with him, and gets him all the cool things. Honestly, that's probably why her brother is willing to go along with all of this. She even makes videos with her mom and dad, and they seem so happy with her, acting like they're okay with everything. But in reality, it feels like she's just buying their love with money. To be clear, we're not saying that people in the adult industry don't deserve love from their families. Of course they do. But there has to be a level of privacy and boundaries, and that's something she really doesn't understand. There's even a video of her asking her dad how he feels about his daughter being an OnlyFans model. And honestly, the response feels so scripted, like they have no other option but to say they're fine with it.
Dad, how does it feel to know that you have a daughter that does an OF?
She's happy. I'm fine.
W Dad.
And the same goes for her brother. Even if we believe that he isn't just sitting with her, blowing himself up on social media for money, then he's probably doing it for the fame. Or maybe he's just being pushed into this idea that being with a famous sister automatically makes him a content creator. However, he has said on the podcast that it's not what he wants, he just wants his sister back. Here's another clip that someone reposted on YouTube where Camila and her brother had a huge argument about whether she's actually ruining his life. It's just heartbreaking. He said that he wanted to become a dentist, but now, because of how his life is affected by her, he feels like he can't.
Did you actually mean what you said in that viral clip?
Yeah. You're listing shit in my life.
How?
Like, I wanted to become a dentist, but that's all on the internet? I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I physically can't. People are putting shit out on the internet that's not true. But that doesn't matter because people will believe anything.
I mean, I guess.
You're f***ing everything up in my life.
Like friendships and stuff?
Kinda, yeah. Listen up.
Christian, I never once thought by doing this that it was gonna mess anything up.
I have nothing else to say.
That's really just not true.
You're really old. I'm the biggest bop on the internet. Everyone calls you. Calm down a little bit. Be nice to her. Why would I be nice to her? Because we're filming right now. We don't want to. I don't give a we're filming. Look at your sister. We're gonna catch the real person right here. You want to talk about the real person? Yeah. This is the real you. This is posting that shit. No, you don't know this either. I'm posting this shit because this is literally who you are. This is literally who I am. You made it like this. You're entitled. No, bro. This is who you are. This how you act, your entitlement, this is who you are. So yeah, that just got, are you recording? Yeah, it's recording. So
And honestly, if he applies for a job, people might look him up, and the first thing that comes up could be her podcast videos. The one where she's talking to him about OnlyFans and what is pink. That's honestly not a good look, and it really shows how her choices have real consequences for him. Now, we get the argument that he's sitting there of his own free will and that she's not physically holding him down, and yes, that's true. On some level, he probably wants to do it too. He might see what his sister is doing and think, hey, this path makes money, maybe I'll do the same. But here's the thing, he's still a kid. As a sister, as an adult, it should be her responsibility to protect him from situations like this until he's informed enough to make his own decisions. Somewhere down the line, he might regret it. Maybe in the future he'll decide he wants to be a content creator, maybe he won't. But right now, he doesn't fully understand the consequences. And it's honestly unfortunate that his parents, or she herself, doesn't seem to really care about that. She is deliberately putting him in front of the camera as a minor, all for rage bait content, just so she can make waves as a creator. And the fact that she's discussing these deeply inappropriate things about herself with her little brother on camera, it's disgusting, manipulative, and completely unacceptable. Also, another thing you might have noticed from looking at all those clips is how she sits in front of her brother. She sits in this really weird way, low-key exposing herself with her legs wide open, and it's clear she knows exactly what she's doing. However, she has the audacity to defend it, saying she's just sitting like this because it's comfortable. Come on, we all know what she's trying to do, and we all know the type of content she makes for her audience. There's no reason to sit like that just for comfort, especially in front of your younger brother. It's weird, it looks weird, and that's exactly the problem. And guess what? Her brother actually confronted her about this and asks why she sits like that. And of course, her response was exactly what it always is. She acted like she didn't care, saying it's not a big deal. Then in classic best sister fashion, she defensively flipped it around on him, telling her little brother that he was the one making it weird, and the fact that he was even thinking about it was weird.
Camila, why do you sit like that? Like, that's really weird.
It's comfortable. Don't make it weird. It's not that big of a deal.
Wow. Oh, wow.
It's comfortable.
At least you're like a normal person. Actually, you can't even do that because you're not even normal.
My goal is not to be normal. So, it's just comfortable. Okay, whatever. Well, I'm saying my goal is not to be normal, and it's comfortable. Don't make it weird, and it's not that big of a deal. I don't care what the internet says. Don't make it weird. Because the fact that you're thinking about that is weird.
Real defensive, aren't you?
This is exactly what makes her behavior so manipulative. Instead of taking responsibility for putting her underage brother in an uncomfortable situation, she gaslights him, shifts the blame, and invalidates his feelings, all while recording it for content. It's not just awkward, it's psychologically damaging. She's teaching him that his discomfort doesn't matter, and that his perspective is wrong, which is incredibly toxic coming from a sibling, let alone an adult. And this is just one example of her gaslighting. She constantly talks about her brother in a way that makes it seem like he owes her this. In one of her podcasts, the host even brought up the fact that she made a lot of money from the video where her brother got upset at her for being in the industry. Her response was that he should go along with it because he owes her as a brother, especially since she's willing to pay for his college.
Last time I sat in this chair, everyone roasted me because they love my brother for some reason, but honestly, y'all gotta stop making him viral because, like, it just gives him leverage over me, and he's literally, 10 years old, so he doesn't need to be having a loud-ass mouth. So, we love each other, everything's fine, I'm not a shit sister, no one's disappointed in me, y'all just need something to be mad about, so stop adding to his ego. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that clip did make you a lot of money.
Okay, as a brother, that's what he should do. Like, if he wanted to be a doctor, I'd support him in paying for his med school. So in order to have me cough up money, he needs to help me make money.
Right.
It's a perfect example of how she manipulates the situation to make herself look like the generous sibling while simultaneously pressuring her brother to participate in content that clearly makes him uncomfortable. She frames it as a favor or a debt he owes her, which is just another layer of control and emotional manipulation. And she doesn't just manipulate her own brother, she consistently manipulates her audience as well. Whenever someone asks her about how she uses her brother for content, she denies it, claiming that their conversations are completely normal and that people are overreacting. But honestly, that's exactly what she wants, to control the narrative and make herself look innocent. Regardless of who confronts her or asks questions, she always deflects and often lies outright. It's a pattern. Manipulate the situation, twist the story, and protect her public image while continuing this same behavior. A great example of this is her interview video on The Hollywood Fix, where she talks about her brother. Now, in this video, she claims that people have taken the entire situation out of context, that they just grabbed one clip and gave her a lot of backlash for it. But here's the thing, while researching these supposed podcasts her brother appears on, we discovered that they were either deleted or don't seem to exist at all. We looked everywhere and couldn't find full episodes. A lot of people online also think this podcast is just fake. There's no complete full-length video for anyone to watch and understand the full context. Instead, all that exists are clips she's recorded and uploaded herself to make it seem like part of a real podcast. In reality, these are just edited reels designed to go viral. A curated narrative crafted to control how our audience perceives the situation. We realized this when we came across multiple Reddit threads where people are trying to find this mysterious podcast with her little brother, and guess what? No one seems to know. This user posted on Reddit saying, "Where can I find the full Camila Araujo podcast featuring her brother? What's the deal?" And most of the commenters also agreed that the full podcast episode is actually nowhere to be found. One commenter wrote, "A year later and I'm looking for it too. LOL, is it on her OnlyFans maybe?" However, regardless of whether the podcast was real or not, the videos with her brother have made her extremely popular, but not in a good way. Many people online have been calling her out, accusing her of using her brother as a marketing tool to gain attention and boost her presence. One user on Reddit wrote, "Yeah, I didn't know talking about my OF to my 12-year-old brother while I also have my legs wide open in front of him next to him is a great idea to get clout. That's not okay. That's some disgusting and predatory behavior. There are other ways she can promote her OF. Literally anyone calls her out in the comments and she continues to do it." And this is something we've noticed too. If you go check out her social media, you'll constantly see people calling her out for this. But despite all the backlash, she still features her brother in tons of videos. And it's always the same formula. How embarrassed he is by her, or how upset he is about her being in the industry. Camila has clearly figured out that this works for the algorithm. So she keeps pumping out the same type of content without caring even a little bit about the consequences. Besides this, there's also the fact that she's a huge hypocrite. She constantly tries to present herself as the mature one in the industry, the voice of reason who calls people out when they step out of line. She made videos talking about Ash Trevino and how she mistreated her teenage daughter, claiming she cared so much about protecting minors. She's also said that minors should never be involved with OnlyFans creators, and that people who exploit kids for clout are disgusting. But then what does she do? She turns right around and shoves her own little brother into her content, using him as clickbait and ragebait to farm views. She'll sit there pretending she's a champion for minors, while simultaneously doing the exact same thing she condemned others for. It's textbook hypocrisy. She wants the moral high ground, but her own actions prove she's not nearly as woke or mature as she wants everyone to think. One user on Reddit wrote, "I don't know how she acts like she has the moral high ground in situations, when there's a couple of videos of her interrogating her brother over his feeling towards her having an OF, like when he said his schoolmates taunt him with pictures of her, and they ask him if it's pink, and he responded with, 'I don't know, pay for it.' It's so depraved because she's gonna keep using him to elevate her career. With the whole Ash Trevino situation, it's a right message, wrong sender situation, because she's also someone who disregards a family member's feelings to get money and fame." And honestly, we 100% agree with this commenter. She did the right thing by calling Ashley out, and sure, it deserves attention that she actually did it. But at the same time, this doesn't suddenly make her a better person. Let's be real, it's not like she's some moral compass who's standing up for what's right. She just jumped on the bandwagon. She knew people were already crucifying Ashley for all her bad behavior, so she swooped in, called her out, and picked up some easy brownie points from the audience. And this isn't even the only time she's pulled something like this. More recently, she's been involved in yet another controversy, with someone who's just as despised on the internet, all in what looks like another attempt to get in the good books of the audience. And that person is none other than TikTok's favorite, or perhaps most hated, Nepo baby Alabama Barker. For those unfamiliar, she's the daughter of Travis Barker and Shannon Moakler, and she's recently been embroiled in drama with another rapper and OF content creator, Bad Baby. We think the whole clash between Camila and Alabama started because Camila is actually friends with Bad Baby. In a podcast episode released on May 23, 2025, Bad Baby, whose real name is Danielle Bergoli, joined Camila Araujo to discuss the whole situation.
I am so happy that I didn't leave him because I would never find what I have with him in anybody else. And it's gotten so much better. It's like a whole different ball game. And it's like, I always think about it like, damn, if I would have left, I'd be missing out on this.
But then it's also like the opposite end of the things could be like, wow.
The episode garnered significant attention, especially after Bad Baby addressed her past beef with Alabama Barker. She revealed that the feud began in December 2024 when she accused Alabama of entering a relationship with her then-boyfriend Levon, while Bad Baby was undergoing chemotherapy for blood cancer. Bad Baby alleged that Alabama made overtures to Levon during this time. In response, Alabama denied the accusations, claiming that it was Levon who first approached her and that he had been reaching out to her for more than a year, unaware of the existing relationship. Now, there's a whole lot to cover if we get into the Bad Baby and Alabama Barker feud, including diss tracks and whatnot, but we're not here for this today. What we would like to talk about, however, is how Camila and Alabama crossed paths. What happened was that Camila posted a video of her and her father on TikTok, saying that they were the best TikTok father-daughter duo. In her words, best bop daughter and DILF dad combo. Now, someone commented on the video suggesting that they should take Alabama Barker in their OF circle too, and Camila responded saying that she would never do it because Alabama is a homewrecker. Alabama obviously got really pissed at this, and she responded to this comment saying, "I'm gonna hold your hands when I say this, babe, I would never." And this is exactly where the entire drama began. To a lot of people, it honestly seemed like Alabama was looking down on the OnlyFans creator community, acting as if she were somehow superior simply because she played by different rules or came from a more privileged background. However, we can't also overlook the fact that it was actually Camila who talked first, because that's what she does. She creates drama to stay relevant, and honestly, this is the recipe of the classic influencer move, desperate to stay in the limelight. So we don't really blame her too much for this. However, the back and forth between Alabama and Camila went on for quite a while. Camila responded to Alabama's comment with a TikTok video, basically telling her how much of a bop she is because she slept with someone's boyfriend.
Listen, so your application was stellar. I will say sleeping with someone's baby daddy and boyfriend and home wrecking a whole relationship really proved how much of a bop you were. But Pookie, it's just trashy. You know, it's not giving really girl's girl. So you don't have to lie. You don't have to pretend that you don't want to be a part of the Bop House. Because, you know, you're about to pretend to be somebody's, you know, pretend mom. That a baby, you know, to a baby that's not yours. So don't lie to yourself. Merry Christmas. And instead of sleeping with people's man, you know, let's focus on making something of yourself because you're just known as a Nepo baby. Ew.
Alabama went on a live stream and said that she would rather be a Nepo baby than sell her pictures online for money.
No, but like actually though, like I would rather be a Nepo baby than be, you know, selling my cooch, my nunu. Not you. I'm not beefing with you, Camila. Yeah. I'm not. Beef with yourself, babe.
This live stream actually created a massive uproar because of the way she spoke in a derogatory and demeaning manner towards workers. The feud only escalated from there, especially when Camila clapped back with a video pointing out that she is both a Nepo baby and an OF baby. She said, how can she sit there tearing down an entire industry when her own mom, Shannon Moakler, is connected to that very world? Not to mention her aunt, Kim Kardashian, literally built her career off the back of a leaked news.
Proud to be a Nepo baby, not an OF baby. Girl, how you gonna hate on the industry when your auntie has a whole leak tape busting it down? So you called me a corn star, but how do you know what I be posting? Are you subscribed? Are you a fan? Do I get your money once a month? Or should I say your daddy's money? Clearly this star got you pressed, babe. And tell your auntie that her performance was stellar. It was a good one.
Now, we believe the whole thing is just completely unnecessary. Like, seriously, what's the point? It's just two women dragging down other women for no real reason. At the end of the day, it comes off as hateful, bitter, and extremely messy. But hold on a minute, because things are about to get a whole lot worse. After Camila posted a video where she dragged Shannon Moakler and even threw in Kim Kardashian's name, Alabama decided she wasn't just gonna sit back, oh no. She clapped back with another video. And this time she didn't just throw shade, she went full legal threat mode. In her rant, she accused Camila of using her brother to promote her OnlyFans. And then she made a not-so-subtle threat, saying something along the lines of, "My lawyers would love this," basically hinting she was ready to take Camila to court over the whole mess.
Girl, I know you sell it for money, but I don't. Got you there, I don't. Babe, your brother's embarrassed to have you as a sister. He gets bullied. My lawyers, they're gonna love this, so please leak more. It's just gonna build a better case. Also, let me know if you want me to leak that video of you being racist. Saying the N-word. Let me know, Camila. Let me know.
Not only that, but Alabama went even further, throwing shade by saying that Camila doesn't do anything else in her life except sell her pictures online. Of course, Camila had to respond to that too, and honestly, at this point, it's just exhausting to even keep up with. It feels less like a real issue and more like two people throwing rocks at each other just to see who can make the bigger splash.
And like you haven't had any other accomplishments besides that. Like what else have you done? Like do you have a company? Come on, so to me. And like you have...
Girl! Listen, for someone who didn't want to beef with me, you got my name in your mouth a lot. And sure, we can get on live and talk in circles if that's what you want to do. And let me set the record straight. Let me educate you. I have 3 companies, one in real estate and the other 2 in social media management. And second of all, defending your mom by saying that she was once a Playboy bunny and was a pro ice skater is humiliating. That's embarrassing. And 3, this is the best part to me. You're calling me a bum, but you fell right into my trap. You gave me exactly what I wanted. It was that easy.
But wait, it doesn't stop there. Camila, for some reason, felt the need to post yet another exposing video, this time exposing Alabama Barker's close friend's story. In the clip, Alabama was apparently wearing a thong and showing off her body. However, Camila didn't show the full picture, she covered it up. Regardless, she basically tried to argue that she was no better than her because, in her view, Alabama was selling her body for free while criticizing others in the industry.
Alabama Barker situation. I think it's so funny. A little birdie messaged me and was like, "Girl, check your DMs. I got the motherfucking tea." I don't care, but let me show you this. This is the funniest, most ironic thing ever, right? So, you know, she's making fun of us OF girls, which is fine. But a little birdie texted me and was like, "Yo, check your DMs. Please look what Miss Alabama Barker, daughter of Miss USA OF mama and new niece to the infamous Kim K. Look what Miss Girl is posting on her close friends. For free. Photo free. For free. For free, Pookie. And there are others, you know, other images of her making out with girls, her showing her biddies, which I, no harm, no foul on this end. Like, babe, I'm all in your goodies for free. Swimming. That's out the window.
After Camila posted the video exposing her close friend's story on Instagram, Alabama made another response. In this follow-up, Alabama claimed she's still underage and argued that the fact Camila decided to show her picture like that on camera was not okay. Alabama even threatened to send a cease and desist notice.
That you supposedly is equivalent to selling yourself online. I know it's so equivalent. The picture that you're using, that you put a sticker over, it's just my underwear in sweatpants.
Don't be shy. I'll post it if you need me to. Love you, girl. So obsessed, I know. And babe, let me let you in on a secret. I was underage in that.
Of course, Camila wasn't about to let that slide. She clapped back with yet another video, this time going straight for personal jabs, calling Alabama names for having a rich father and throwing shade by saying, "Make sure your dad knows my email, because he's the one cleaning up all of your messes."
Make sure your daddy has the right email address. Because, you know, he's the one that cleans up all your messes. Me. Because, honey, the bane of your existence is being a famous person's daughter. You are a shell of a human being with nothing to offer. Besides a trust fund, of course. And the one time people do start talking about you is when you took somebody's man of a woman who was battling.
And somewhere in between all this chaos, Alabama Barker's mother, Shanna Moakler, decided to jump into the situation. For those of you who don't know, Shanna was a Playboy icon back in the day, and she's no stranger to the spotlight. She made a video directly addressing Camila in this situation, where she called her out for being disrespectful and embarrassed.
That little blackfish blonde girl, I've been trying to bite my tongue about this because I know she's young, and I know, like, I should not even seen this, but every time I open TikTok, it's her trying to clap back at someone, just showing how uneducated she is, and literally just a carbon copy of her brain-dead aunties, and it's killing me, like, it's embarrassing me for her. You have no excuse growing up in Calabasas with money to not have an education. How do you not know what Bane means, let alone how to pronounce Bane? It literally made me cringe. All those rappers that you're into, they will still like you if you speak in your real voice. They will still you if you're educated, if you go to college, they will still like you. You don't have to pretend that you're JT or Lotto. It's okay. It's okay to be you. They'll still like you, okay? I've had the same Valley Girl voice my whole life. They all love me. Trust me. Just stop with the act. You're embarrassing yourself, baby, and I don't even think anybody loves you enough to tell you.
However, to everyone's relief, things actually came to a head when Camila was actually hit with a cease and desist notice from Alabama's lawyers. Camila even went on the Canceled podcast and talked about it afterward. What's ironic is that after escalating the situation so much, posting videos, throwing shade, and going back and forth, she suddenly downplayed the whole thing, saying it wasn't that big of a deal and that she didn't really care. It came off as pretty contradictory, considering she was the one who poured so much energy into keeping the drama alive in the first place.
You can't say that you want to be a rapper, and then the second someone is detesting you, you're running to dad and like ceasing and desisting.
I genuinely, I'm gonna be very honest with you, I didn't think it was for real. The second she was like, I got the letter, I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool, like I'll just shut up because like I don't care, like I don't
need this.
I don't need this, like to be honest with you. And like, yeah, like obviously I'm a Bad Baby fan, like to the day I die, like I rock for that girl, like she's amazing. And I
love
think,
women in STEM.
I just think like it, for me, it wasn't that deep. I think I actually probably hurt her and hit a spot that kind of hurt, and
just the feeling of like I'm losing, and then like you have all those resources,
and that's fine. Like so, I just shut up. Just cool. Like I don't need it. Like next. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like bigger
100%.
issues, like whatever.
How did that?
Well, thank you, Camila, for finally shutting up. However, honestly speaking, this feud has already done more damage than it ever should have. And we're not saying Alabama's any better here either. If anything, this whole mess just showed the reality of the influencer world. How quick these so-called stars are to tear each other down for 5 seconds of fame and virality. Camila claims to be this marketing queen who knows everything, but let's be real. Her branding strategy is basically bringing her brother on a podcast to talk about her OnlyFans. But we'll give her one thing, she's really smart. She's not some clueless degenerate, she knows exactly what she's doing. She knows who to feud with, she knows who to collab with, and she plays the game better than most. The problem is the people she's chosen to surround herself with are, let's just say, very questionable.
That's all that matters.
I'm happy. I'll be happier when we do 2000 together.
I'll have to prepare for that.
Yeah.
She's not a bad person at all. Like, I don't regret collabing with her. I don't regret doing the interview with her. It's just social media. It's what you do. You collab, you make a couple jokes, and you move the on.
Well, my nephew's 18. He's still a child. I'll send him to me then. No, I'd absolutely never do that. Hopefully I'll find him in my queue one day.
If my son was one of those, and
How old's your son?
He's 18.
That's my type.
Besides her very questionable collabs, another thing we've noticed is how Camila very smartly slips information into her videos about how much she earns, whether it's during her time in Bop House, on a random podcast, or even in her reels. She always finds a way to let people know that she's loaded.
2025, meaning January, February, March, April, and May, we're in June, I've paid $1.3 million. How much am I gonna have to pay? I don't know. You haven't paid your, you're gonna make me cry. You haven't paid your taxes. Are you gonna help me?
No, stop. This is just this week.
Oh my, 250,000?
Bro, a week.
She even managed to get on a podcast with Howie Mandel, and he was completely blown away by the amount of money she claims to be making. Now, in our opinion, this tactic is not only wrong, but also dangerous. A lot of the young girls watching her might start to think this is the formula for success. In a way, it's indirectly her audience, just like the way she does with her brother. She's feeding them this idea that OnlyFans and creating this kind of content is the road to riches and easy money. But the reality's far from that. Only the top 5% of people in the industry ever make the kind of money she flaunts, and it's not like anyone can just open an account and become a millionaire overnight. Pushing this narrative into people's heads is harmful because it creates false expectations. In desperation for money, some might end up making choices they'll regret later in life, all because they believed the glamorous version Camila keeps showing in front of them. At the end of the day, Camila is one of those figures who live in a constant paradox. On the surface, she'll sell you this image of being a marketing mastermind, the person who always has the right strategy, the right feud, and the right collaboration lined up. And in a sense, that part is true. She isn't stumbling into this chaos blindly. She knows what she's doing, and that's what makes her different from so many other internet degenerates who just spiral without a plan. Camila actually has intent behind the madness, but where things really get shaky is the branding she's chosen to lean on. When your so-called brand is tied to bringing your brother onto podcasts to talk about your OnlyFans, that's not genius, that's straight up bizarre. It blurs lines that shouldn't be blurred, and it makes her whole empire feel way less professional than she tries to make it seem. Add in the fact that the people she's chosen to surround herself with are questionable at best, and it paints the picture of someone who's either playing with fire or doesn't care how badly she might get burned. Camila is smart, no doubt. She knows how to pull the strings, how to get people talking, and how to keep herself in the spotlight. But being smart doesn't always mean being wise. She might be securing attention right now, but the foundation she's building is shaky. And if her marketing genius always relies on controversy, questionable feuds, and dragging her family into awkward situations, then eventually the spectacle wears thin. At the end of the day, this whole saga isn't just about Camila or Alabama or any of the other people who've jumped into the mix. What we're really seeing is a blueprint for how messy, calculated, and downright bizarre internet fame can be. Some people stumble into it by accident, while others, like Camila, seem to know exactly how to play the game, no matter how questionable their methods may be. On this note, we'd like to end today's video. If you stayed till the end, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments down below. Is Camila really the queen of branding she claims to be? Or is she just another internet figure skating on thin ice, hoping the cracks don't show before she makes her next big move? Time will tell, but one thing's for sure, she's playing a risky game, and the world is watching to see how long she can keep it going.